All right, we managed to go live again, board, and welcome to another live stream. Today, I am guessing you, board, are going to take us through something that someone would consider trivial, but it's a strong concept that I think we need to cover. That's how to use a single shape for multiple types of products, also called polymorphism. I didn't manage to say it.
Polymorphic.
Polymorphic.
Yeah, it's an abstract concept, and it's something that we get frequent questions on, I would say. Just got one again today from a client. So the goal here is basically we create one shape where we have multiple types of products that are covered. We're going to use guitars, amps, and pedals, obviously, for demo data this time. And we picked that because basically a guitar has very different properties than an amplifier or a guitar pedal, right? So this is the challenge that we're basically looking to solve. And let's just jump right into it. I have prepared a couple of pieces. So to recap, pieces are a combination of components that you can reuse in different shapes. So if we take a look at my pedal piece, this is essentially a list of components that are specific for a guitar pedal, like effect type, the type of bypass, is it true bypass or buffered, width, height, depth, and weight. And if you look at, for example, an amplifier, it's got very different properties, like is it a tube, is it a valve, is it a hybrid, is it a digital modeler, for example. And of course you have power, which is in watts. You have speaker configuration, if it's a head only, like the ones behind here, or if it's a 1x12, 2x12, or 4x12 for those that are into amplifiers. But very specific properties basically for different products. And same goes for guitar, where you have here we've chosen like the body type. Is it solid, hollow, acoustic, body material, and nerdy things that you care about if you're going to purchase a guitar. So how should we go about this now, Didrik? So we have some pieces that basically just defines the components for the different types of products we're going to sell.
So as you already can see, you already have some product shapes, what we call it. So I guess this store is selling a bit of everything, a bit of books, cooking appliance, and a generic shape called products. So since you're now selling instruments, probably,
Yeah.
I think we should go ahead and create a new product shape.
Like this. So we create a product shape. And of course, here you can add the stuff like description. Maybe you want to have a story, to add the storytelling. But that's not why we're here today. We have, basic components, but we also have the structural components like chunk choice and multiple choice. Rolls off the tongue. Let's use a choice today. So a choice basically means that we can put components into a choice, and then as an editor, while I'm creating products, I have the choice to choose which components should be used. And this is common for, if you have, let's say, a landing page and you want to have a header, you often have media and then a choice of image or video. But here we're just going to call it specs. And what we want to do then is say, okay, we have an amplifier, we have a guitar, and we have a pedal. So since these are pieces, we can add them into a choice component, and that allows you as an editor to then choose which of these properties you want to be available on your product.
Probably also, so here you're making a choice, which means you make a choice, not multiple, in this scenario. If you would like to have multiple, because you could have a structure where you have different, what are called fragmented pieces of different types of properties that
Yep.
you can go overall on the products. But what we're doing here is specifying type of product using a choice.
Exactly. So, and this is basically the setup. Of course, you would add typically more components for related products, matching amplifiers. Also, check out these guitar pedals, things like that. But what we want to achieve here as an editor now, because creating shapes and defining shapes, we define it as a developer task. It's changing the data model of your Crystallize tenant. You typically do that in code. So you have it in your Git repo and do it programmatically. But when doing modeling, it's also quite nice to just use the UI and then maybe export to a JSON file, which you can do with our mass operations if you're interested in that. So switching gears, now I am an editor, and here we see I have a tenant. This is a demo tenant we've used in several live streams related to content modeling. So I have a category here called music, and I would like to here create a new product. And now first I have to choose what type of product. I do instrument, and let's see, what should we start with? I'm guessing we do something like this. Content. Oh, Fender Custom Shop 55. And then, of course, you do the basic stuff. You say we have 2 in stock and it costs 4,500-ish. And maybe you want to have some marketing copy. So getting the storytelling out of the way. And now what we have done is basically enabled specifications to be a choice. I can say, okay, this is an amplifier. It's a 50-watt tube amplifier head only with effects loop, and it's 58 centimeters wide. But it's not an amplifier, it's a guitar. So we choose a guitar, and this is a solid body. It's older. Neck profile is C shape. The fretboard, let's see. Yeah, this is maple. Number of frets, I think it's 22. Weight, probably 3 kilos. Not sure. And we can publish this product. So, and this is the point where we very semantically, rather than just having bullet lists in the product description with the type of material, etc. What you have here is now we have semantically defined the properties of the product. Give you several benefits if we do another product here.
And of course, Bård, when you say you create it semantically, which also means that basically everything you have in there, you can also extract as facets on the other side when working on the storefront.
Yeah.
We've always been, call it a bit fanatic about the semantic way of creating data.
Yeah.
But the benefits are huge in the other end if you want to do something new.
Searching, filtering, matching products, all of those things.
Yes.
And of course, we want to have an amplifier. What better amplifier than an orange rocker verb? I don't know. I might be biased. And
Maybe.
that is not the pedal, but we can have a check on pedal, effect type, chorus, it's a true bypass, etc. But this is an amplifier, so we have to choose the amplifier, and then we see we have the different properties here. This is a valve, it's 100 watts, of course, it's a head only with effects loop, and it's, I don't know, 58 centimeters. Height is probably 29. Depth is 40, and weight is, feels like 100 kilos. That's it. That is polymorphic data modeling. So if you recap, what we've done is we've created a generic shape to sell everything in our instrument section of our store in this case, because as you said, we have cooking appliances and other products here. And on the shape, we've defined a choice. And as you said, Didrik, we can also use multiple choice here if you want to have be able to add multiple specifications, because you might have some generic and some specific. Maybe you have some,
for example,
product passport data, for example. So compliance type of components, you probably always want to have them there, but you can if you want to make them optional. But here you actually have to make a choice to get the appropriate components, and that enables us essentially, as we saw, to create products that have very specific specifications based on the type of product. So this guitar, and we have the amplifier, and they have unique specs useful for searching, filtering, connecting the dots, and also you want to have structured data. You can even feed this to AI, and the more structured and the more semantic you are about your data, the more value you can create on top of it. So that's the end of the TED Talk, Didrik. Any final notes?
No, I think the final note is try to avoid creating a shape for every type of product that you have.
Yeah.
Use the polymorphic ways of doing it, because the more shapes, the more things to keep in order, basically, at least for the storefront.
Yeah, because if you have different shapes, it typically means different components in the front end, more front-end code, less reusability.
Yeah, more queries in the code. So, and the neat thing about it is that when you create a piece, utilize fragments in GraphQL. If you're a developer, define the piece once, reuse it all over the code base where you need to use it.
Yeah,
or need the data. That's the proper way of saying it.
And if you have comments or questions, feel free to join our Slack community or community Slack, whichever way you want it. And we will do another live stream next week with a very exciting topic, actually. So if you want to know about that, like and subscribe, as they say, and see you in the next one.